give you today somewhat of a formal introduction to the pile leaf there, to top bar beekeeping. My favorite top bar keeper, he has passed away, but his name is Les Crowder. And you can see here, if you want to, there's the QR code. And the website that has most of his information for the hive that he designed is Be Mindful. I really like this hive. I've compared it with other top bar hives. Some may seem fancier, like the backyard beekeeper one. Really beautiful, but so yes, this is one of my choice. Oh. Hi, I'm the sort of beekeeper that takes the risk of getting stung way too often. I just, my body doesn't really have any big response to it besides the initial pain and adrenaline. So anyway, I guess I will wear my veil. The reason I love this hive so much is because the angle of the walls of it. Let's see. I might need a second here. The angle that the walls are, it's a completely perfect angle. It's a completely half hexagon. It needs to be beveled at a 30-degree angle because the 30-degree angle keeps the honeybees from building their comb to touch the bottom and sides of the hive. Naturally, bees do not connect their comb to the bottom of the hive unless the comb breaks and falls. Then they'll like prop it up. But with a 30-degree angle, basically they are considering the sides as part of the bottom. So let me show you. Really quickly. So these are the bars, and I believe they're just 20 inches long, and they go across the top. This is the lid I use. This corrugated stuff. Sometimes I put it onto some plywood. Sometimes I just drill it right into here. Anyhow, the bars go across this way, and the bees build perfectly along here. They'll build a hexagon-shaped comb that is the same shape as the box that I put in. I keep bees for medicine, which I believe honey is one of those things that we can take from the bees and make medicine from. But because I do it with that focus, I don't use any treatments in my hive. There's another beekeeper I really, really like named Michael Bush, and he's an advocate for treatment-free beekeeping. And even organic honey, which is very healthy and pretty much the best you can buy if you're not buying from a local beekeeper. The best you can do, organic honey, they do some treatments. Oh, there's a bee inside. Yep, I see her. For years I have chafed against wearing a suit and gloves, and then I'll put it on and unzip it, and of course I have problems with it. There was a bee flying around in my suit, and she was not trying to sting me, she was just trying to get out. Then I'm trying to get her out while the other bees are flying around trying to get in to sting me. So, anyhow, so I keep bees for medicine. I don't use any treatments in my hive, not even essential oils or any of the healthier things that are approved for organic honey producers. Organic honey is still very, very healthy. What is not so healthy in the hive is the wax and the propolis. They absorb treatment after treatment, chemical after chemical, and so they are contaminated. While the honey, pretty much, as far as I can tell, everybody says organic honey with approved treatments is completely pure. That's the case, but not for the propolis, which to me is of most importance, and not for the wax. So I have chosen to keep according to Michael Bush's guidance and Les Crowder, who has passed away and is now the people that are promoting his ideology are at beemindful.com or something like that. So I wanted to show you Les Crowder's hive. Michael Bush has a hive that he uses as well, but I really like Les Crowder's. I feel like it's super simple. The way that you go about making it, the items that you have to purchase are very, it just all goes together really simply, and you do not have to be a builder. You can just be a homeschool mom like I was. So I'll make a list of the materials below, but pretty much it's 1x10s, and you can get them in 4-foot lengths, and then you get one to cut the sides and the bottom as well. So the bottom has this beveled edge, which you need a table saw for, but if you want, you could put screen on the bottom, and then you wouldn't have to have a table saw. That works just fine. So here in Hawaii, we don't have any trouble with winterizing. Obviously, we do have a dearth. The honey flow does stop. The bees need to be able to eat a reserve of honey, so that is a consideration moving into winter here. But I do not have to worry about winterizing the hive. So if it has a screen bottom, that's not a problem at all. And if you build it without the screen bottom, these top bar hives are very well insulated because the wood is much thicker than it would be in the regular langstroth, where they're like really super thin. Those boxes are made to be very light because when they're full of honey, you have to lift it all off the top, and it's very, very difficult. Hang on a second. Okay. So this is Les Crowder's hive. It has, you need to buy the 1x10s, and they might be a little tricky to find, but once you find a store that has them, you can always buy them at the same place. And then the top bars that go across, you'll need a certain number for the size of your hive and the length of it. But these are to the, they look kind of like they're 1.5, but if you have a good eye, you can notice they are actually 1 3/8. These are a little bit bigger than 1 3/8, but they are close enough. I get these at my hardware store that's a little further away than the one that's right next to me, but I like them because they're close enough. I don't have to shave them down at all. So if you were going to get 1 by 1.5, you would just plane off the last 1/8 of an inch. So that seems pretty crazy, right? Just to take off an 1/8 of an inch. But the thing is that with it being 1 3/8 and they're lined up all next to each other, the honeybees can build their combs, and then in between the combs will be the perfect distance for keeping the brood the perfect temperature. And when it can be the perfect temperature, then they are able to do their work better and raise healthier bees. So, but I want to show you the insides of the hive. These small ones, I put these little handy handles on, and I actually take this up to where I have my swarm traps and set it up there, and the bees move in. There is an entrance here at the bottom, which you can't quite see for all the honeybees, but it is, again, it's 3/8 of an inch, not a 1/2 inch wide. It's 3/8 of an inch, about 3.5 inches long. Near the bottom, that is the prescription for success. So I'm gonna go ahead and get in here and show you what it looks like when it's actually in use. Do I have smoke left? I do. Here we go. Thank you for your patience. I'm just going to load this up so that we can keep it going a little while longer. Try to not get any more stings today. Just have that nice one on my forehead between my eyes. Hopefully it will not swell. Usually it doesn't. Put some ice on it. Also, I have a propolis tincture I put on my stings. Kind of helps with the pain. But here we go. I just use brown paper in my smoker because I don't like buying something that I'm gonna burn. And I think it does okay, although I've never, in all of these almost 10 years now, I have not purchased smoker fuel, but I know some people really like it. On either end of the top bars, I have these small pieces that are cut at different widths, actually, so that I always have one that I can stick on the end. If I were to not put these on the end of the top bars, I would have trouble lifting the combs out because the comb would be right next to the wall, and bees are there as well. Combs are really fat at the top and you can't lift them out. So that actually puts 3 different kinds of wood on your list. You have your 1x10s and your 1x1.5, or if you can find these ones with the shaved edges, it's 1 3/8 nearly. And then just some kind of a molding. You could get it in different widths. I have some that are a little bit fatter. So just 3 kinds of wood to purchase. You can find some scraps for your handles if you want to do handles. But as you can see, the bees are building their comb here gorgeously, where you can see there's not much comb right here. They're actually building it right now so that it'll be a complete half hexagon. Not touching any of the walls. Completely able to lift out comb after comb after comb. Oh, but you will notice here, I'm going to remove these to show you. I hate to disturb their beautiful work. But underneath them here is a quarter round. Can you see that? So that is cut to 16, 17, or even 18 inches wide or long, and glued and hammered onto these top bars. The one I was showing you initially, this one, does not have any quarter round on it. You can get away with putting empty ones without the quarter round in between the ones that have the quarter round, because your combs are already straight. But you wouldn't want to do that if it was a brand new empty hive. The bees do like to make their combs a little bit curved. It makes them stronger. So there, that would be 4 different pieces of lumber that you would need for making your hive when you add the quarter round. But yes, they're beautiful, aren't they? Show you a little better. I disturbed them. This is just a honeycomb. There's no brood in it, so it's okay to shake all the bees off. If it were a comb that had babies in it, you wouldn't want to shake the nurse bees off, because they're there protecting the rabies and taking care of them, feeding them, and all of that. Of course, I don't have any shoes on. My feet are bare, so having them crawl up your legs is kind of something I have to be careful about. But I want to show you this next comb. It is a brood comb. And you can see right here, this is where they have their babies, in this center here, where they can keep the temperature just exactly like they like. The queen has laid eggs all around here as well. Right there in the center, can you see? That is the brood, the larva, and this bee right here, she is in there feeding it a mixture of nectar and royal jelly. I don't see any pollen on this comb. They don't need any pollen when they're very, very young. So I imagine though eventually there will be some pollen on this comb or the one next to it. But I can't show you what that looks like. This is a brand new comb. See how white it is? It actually comes out of their body, a pure, pure white. They have 3 scales, which produce 6 little flakes of wax on the underside of their body. Anyhow, this hive is looking good. So, yeah, here we have it. This Crowder's top bar hive. Be mindful. Top bar hive. I really, really like it. I've built some others, and this is completely the one that I recommend. So there you go. Here's your introduction. Now all these bees that I knocked off, I've got to figure out how to get back in. Back into their hive so they can just keep doing their work. Help them out. Slight interruption. There's nothing. Okay, so here we have it. So there it is, my favorite hive for keeping for medicine. One of the major problems with the langstroth hive is that it just requires so much. They give a lot of honey, but they were created for mechanized agriculture. So there's a lot of problems that come along with it, and then they have all these little devices and treatments that you can buy to take care of all those problems. And that kind of management just doesn't work for my purposes. So out of the 3 different hives that I've built and worked with over the last 7 years, Les Crowder's is my favorite. It's super easy to put together. You can make a small one like this, or even smaller, and hang it up in a tree, or even put it down this high off the ground and put some lemongrass oil on a baggie and slip it in there, and then some bees will move in. There are some tricks for location if you want to go about that method. I do like to catch my own bees and not purchase them. Then I can always, I can have some to sell to friends, and just keep my own hives sold. But I really do like catching them in this hive instead of in the square boxes that I built 8 years ago, because I can just take the bars off and put them right into another hive. So, yep, it's pretty easy. Oh, the tricks for location are, I'll put these in the notes as well, but the tricks for location for catching your own bees. So where I put these up at a tree in Monowilly, they sit this high off the ground, and I bait them with the lemongrass. But bees are looking for, what they love more than anything is like a vista. They like to look out over a big portion of land, and just to be able to like step right out their door and fly as far as they can to find their forage. So that's what they're looking for. They do like the sun to rise on the side that the entrance is. So if you can position it in that way, that really helps. They like dappled shade, not deep shade. Deep shade just comes with problems with hive beetle, which isn't too big of a, there's that pie leaf again, which isn't too big of a problem. Actually, it's kind of made out to be a bigger problem than it really actually is. Only in really wet conditions do the hive beetle. My sting is starting to itch. Only in really wet conditions do the hive beetle actually end up outnumbering the bees and taking over the hive. So yeah, they love sunshine. Honeybees are obsessed with sunshine and light. So yes, dapple shade, sunny vista. What else are they looking for? Nearby forage. That might help if there's an orchard nearby. Something like that. But yeah, I suggest you just go ahead and go for it and use these tips to help you get started. it's been a great thing for me and my children. They're nearly raised now, and they help me when they need to, but it was a really great project. For cutting and measuring and following through something from the beginning to the end, the things that you learn about nature and the health benefits of just being outside and being on the ground. A skill that's something they could turn into a way to make money for themselves as well. This Les Crowder's hive, when you take the honey, you take the whole entire comb, so you end up squeezing the honey out of the comb, and then you have the comb, and then you process that. So that's kind of how it works. Okay, here comes my puppy. Thanks.